everybody, it's Jewelyn, my grandma, and Evie. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to my 501 video here on my main channel. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel with my daily uploads. I'm so happy to have my grandma back on the channel. Evie's here hanging out with us. It is the beginning of July, coming into 4th of July weekend. Before we go back to Las Vegas, because we just was there 2 days ago, I wanted to go ahead and celebrate my 500 breaking episode. I can't believe 501 videos on this main channel. I want to go ahead and celebrate with doing my pot of fame for June. I love doing my monthly series that I've been doing now for over a year on the channel, talking about a handful of babies that have been doing great for me for the month of June. So if you love seeing updates on my plant, this is a perfect series for you. And it also gives time for me to highlight a handful of babies on the channel that's been doing really good. So in today's video, without further ado, let's go ahead and show some plant love to a handful of babies that's been doing really good here in Santa Monica, California. And also shout out to Evie because her birthday is this Sunday. She's gonna be celebrating 8 doggy years in Las Vegas, so stay tuned. We're gonna be doing a special little video for her. She gets a cake every year wherever we are at, so this year we're gonna be in Las Vegas. So we're gonna celebrate in Las Vegas, and we'll probably go ahead and see Kira at some point this weekend. So Evie's gonna hang out while Grandma and I talk plants. So Grandma, welcome back to the channel.
Yes, thank you.
This is gonna be my first baby that I wanna go ahead and highlight. As you can see, it takes up a lot of real estate. I love this plant. This is one of my prized peperomias actually in my collection. This is my beautiful Peperomia obtusifolia variegata, and this lives full-time in my patio next to my Tiffany blue table. It's one of my prized babies that I really see as I walk through my space, and I love the variegation of it. It is on the rubbery side. This waxy type of peperomias are probably one of the easiest peperomias to grow, and if you take a look really good throughout my whole plant, there is lots of new growth here, and the whole mother plant is doing really good. There has been some fallouts throughout the months from crazy weather and wind and rain, and I have propagated it over these past months. I think one of the babies are actually living on my plant shelf, my white shelf next to my kitchen area. If you take a look at the plant, there's lots of new growth, which I think is really fun to see. I've had this Peperomia obtusifolia variegata in my collection now, I want to say for 2 years, believe it or not. And I want to say I maybe got this in Las Vegas. It's living in a white planter, which I got from Ontario, California, just for a few dollars. I can't believe it. I love the aesthetic of the plant with the white planter. I know for a hot minute it was living in a terracotta planter, but once I got these white planters in my collection, I had to give it a switch up. Now, what do you guys think about the Peperomia obtusifolia? Do you find it easy if you have the plant growing? I mean, take a look at just the characteristic of the plant. Every single twist and turn of the plant is, I think, absolutely gorgeous. Rotating my plants is something I do for plant care so that it gets even distribution of sun. My patio is shaded, so I do get sunlight, but not direct sunlight throughout the whole day, which is perfect for peperomias. This peperomia is probably going to stay in this planter for the rest of its entire life. I've never had problems with Peperomia obtusifolia. I have a handful of them. If you watch my Jewelyn's collective video featuring my peperomias, you will see this among the rest of my obtusifolias, both all green, marbled, and just variation of greens. They're really cool plants. So if you come across a Peperomia obtusifolia variegata, I highly recommend it if you're trying to get into peperomia. It's very easy to propagate, and I love being able to have this one in my collection and see it grow on me. So this is gonna be the first baby that I want to talk about for the month of June. Very fun plant in my collection. Here's the next baby that I want to go ahead and highlight, and this is my Pink Princess Philodendron, one of my prized plants. And this will always be featured whenever it gives me new growth because it is a rare baby of mine and a wish list plant. I did a mail order on this plant, and I actually am like thrilled to have this plant in my collection. If I ever come across this plant again, I would probably purchase it because I never see this plant in person. This was a mail order, and every month so far I feel like I've been featuring it on Pot of Fame. It's doing so good. So if you ever come across this plant, for if it's, I don't even know if it's common, let me know if in your city if this is a common plant, and how much did you pay for your Pink Princess Philodendron. I paid probably around $100 for this plant, and I'll probably do a video on like my most expensive plants in the future. You see on the bottom section there's lots of new growth, so it's a very fun plant to just kind of keep track of. You never know if it's going to give you an all pink leaf, a variegated leaf, but I'm hoping that more pink leaves will pull through. So let's see what this leaf will end up looking like. So I wanted to give a shout out once again to my Pink Princess Philodendron for giving me new growth. Again, you will see this in my Pot of Fame every month if it continues to give me new leaves, but I absolutely love the characteristic of it. Living in one of my favorite planters from Daiso, Japan. I have a bunch of them. So this lives for the most part in my bathroom, but this week because of the new growth I have it living in my patio while we're home for a couple of days. So here's a really fun Oxalis and a fun update. So this growth right here is all new, believe it or not. When I purchased this plant in Northridge, California, about 18 miles or so from me, it pretty much looked like this, and I was like, I don't care, I collect Oxalises and I want it. So if you see here, there's like little new baby growth popping up there, and then all of this is new growth. It lives in an ice cream planter, and I honestly don't know if I'm going to leave it here for the time being. It's just an interesting shape right now because I feel like it's a cutting and I don't know what to do with it, and I don't want to put it in a nursery planter because I feel like it deserves to be in a cute little planter. So for now it'll live here, and maybe when it gives me new growth I'll go ahead and I'll find maybe a bigger, deeper planter for it. But for now this lives on my little vintage wicker bench on my little kitchen area with the rest of my rare Oxalises, and I am a huge Oxalis fan. If you watch my channel, you will see that I have a lot of Oxalises. But I mean, for the condition of the plant and the rarity of the plant, I don't think I've ever seen this plant in person. So when I found it in person in Northridge, I had to scoop it up. So fun new growth here on a Oxalis in my collection. That's on the rare side. Yeah, so there's even a little new growth there. So I'll keep you guys updated on this one. But very fun to be featured on June's Pot of Fame. This is a really fun baby that's been putting out a lot of new growth in my bathroom. And this is one of my prayer plants. Believe it or not, you guys, like the Marantas are doing really good in my bathroom, and I do have my big one here which I need to transplant living above my water fountain. It's doing really good there. I think maybe from the humidity of the fountain it does well there, but other than that I have my Marantas in my bathroom because of the humidity. And if you take a look here, this is all new growth popping up, and I just love the way how they unfurl coming out of the dirt. I think it's just the cutest little thing. A very easy propagator. It does grow quite easy, so if there's any fallouts, I know Catherine, I think her prayer plant had fell. Easy to propagate. Just go ahead, stick the ends in water, it'll root up quite easy. But as you can see, lots of new growth. So I'm really happy about this one because I know I didn't like living outside, and now that I have it in my bathroom, it's doing really great. This planter is from a thrift shop in the San Diego area, and I love thrifting for planters, so maybe we'll have to go ahead and do some thrifting in Las Vegas over the weekend because we haven't been thrifting in Las Vegas for a while, so that might be really fun for the channel. But shout out to my prayer plant, one of them, for giving lots of new growth. I do have my other Maranta actually living in my one macrame hanger in my studio. This is a really fun update for me because I was really stressed out that half of the plant died, but I'll just continue keeping it in my bathroom, and I hope that it'll just continue to fill up its planter. And if there is any fallout, I'll definitely go ahead and propagate it and then stick it back in the planter to keep it nice and full. I know I featured this for my top 10 houseplants. This is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, my very rare plant, my last actually plant unboxing for the channel, and I cannot believe it. Take a look at this. There is lots of new growth here and here, which is so fun to see because ever since I purchased the plant, I'm like, when is it gonna give me new growth and where? So here it is, cute little baby growth. Now I'm gonna try to see if I can find something to have it climb on. I could even do a DIY on it, But Grandma, what do you think about my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma?
Very amazing looking plant.
Yes.
Love it.
I know, it's such a fun plant to have, and it was definitely been on my wish list now for 2 years. So now that I see that it's shooting out new growth for the first time ever, this is really exciting for me and my collection. This lives for the most part full-time in my bathroom. Just this week, I just been leaving it outside on my Tiffany blue table with my Pink Princess Philodendron that they gave me new growth this week. I wanted to have them have some fresh sunlight and air. But shout out to my rare babies for putting out new growth. My plant babies that came through the mail is finally giving me growth, so that's really fun to see. And this plant costs over $100, so now that I see growth coming through, I'm happy, because I'm like, I hope I don't ruin the plant. So fun update on my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. Alright, so here is our next baby for Pot of Fame for June. This is my Ponytail Palm. If you look at the top part of the plant, you will see lots of new growth. This lives for the most part next to the side of my bed.
This is unusual.
And my grandma gave it a little trim. And I love looking at this Ponytail Palm. I've had this plant for over 2 years. I purchased it in Las Vegas, I believe. Even the planter's from Las Vegas. And this week, it's outside having some sunshine. But for the most part, it lives next to the side of my bed. And it gets morning sunlight and it's doing really good. Very easy plant. So if you're looking for a drama-free plant with character, Ponytail Palms, at least this one, is a really fun plant to have. I mean, if you just want one plant, and I always say that, if you want one plant in the corner on a coffee table, I think this is a really good one to have. As you can see, it's a conversational piece. I mean, what a fun plant. I think out of all my plants, I really like the trailing type of plants. That's what gravitates me. And speaking of gravitating towards trailing plants, I have one more to share with you that has a similar characteristic to a trailing palm. So shout out to my Ponytail Palm that's been in my collection for quite some time for Pot of Fame for June. Here is my next baby, and this is my Sunset Mini Oxalis. Now I wanted to go ahead and highlight this finicky plant. It's kind of finicky. I mean, it lives full time in my bathroom. It loves the humidity in there on my plant shelf. But take a look at all of the blooms coming through this plant. And there has been a fair amount of growth on this plant. This is living in a plastic planter, which I picked up on Amazon. So if you're interested in this planter, my description box has my Amazon link, my affiliate link. Go ahead and check it out. All of the products that I use on my channel is linked there. It's a very finicky plant. We did just water it this morning. I want to try to find a better way maybe to style this plant, or maybe just fill up the planter a little bit more so that it can just stand up. But this has been in my collection for a couple of months. I picked this up in, I think, Lakewood, California. And I want to say that my Oxalis collection is getting there. I'm trying to rebuild it. I know my original purple Oxalis and my green Oxalis, and I know they go dormant. I'll go ahead and I'll try to redeem myself on that. But I just fell in love with this one because it's mini, and I've never seen a mini Oxalis before. So far so good. As you can see, the characteristic of how it grows is very fun and interesting. So if you're looking for an Oxalis, and the cool thing is that they open and close like the Marantas, this is a very fun plant to have. Have I seen this plant in person before besides this one? No. So I want to consider it a rare Oxalis, and very fun to see, giving me new growth. Like, take a look at it. Super cute. If you look here, there's lots of new growth and lots of cute blooms. So very fun plant. I love any plant that doesn't look like it's gonna give me blooms and then one day blooms pop up. I think those are like the fun plants to have in my collection. Here is the next baby that I would like to highlight for June. This is one of my Hoyas, and I do have a bunch, and I do have several Hoya Canosa Crimson Princess. This is one of them. I'm trying to remember, where did I purchase this one from? I want to say maybe West Hollywood. I'm not too sure. Now, as you can see here, there's lots of new growth here. I mean, literally throughout the whole plant, you will see small little growth. So for me, I want to say like the Hoyas are slow growing, but when they do put out new leaves, it's just like the cutest thing to see. And I'm looking forward to do another cleaning video on a Hoya. These get pretty dirty and dusty because they do live outside in my patio. This lives in my double macrame hanger right as you enter into my space with another Hoya. So super cute to look at as soon as I walk in. I love the hues of pink and just lots of new growth putting out on this plant. So I wanted to go ahead and highlight this Hoya, and I do have a few from this mother plant growing in my greenhouse. So if you're interested, I know a bunch of you have Hoya Canosa Crimson Princess from me as well as other Hoyas. I love to go ahead and ship some out to you if you're in the US. But shout out to another Hoya for giving me growth. Even if they're tiny growth, they're still fun to see. And I look forward to sharing with you more updates on my Hoya Canosa Crimson Princess from Las Vegas. I don't think there's new growth in that one yet, but this one is doing really good. And again, I'll go ahead and repurchase plant babies if for whatever reason one slight thing is different. But I was like, you know what, Jewelyn, you have to feature this Hoya Canosa Crimson Princess. It's doing so good, and I wanted to show some plant love on it today. Our next baby, George Jr. has given me his first split, as you see, as well as new baby growth here, and then another leaf unfurling here. Mini George has been living with me in my collection for over 2 years. And I originally, I think, purchased this in Las Vegas. I'm not sure, maybe from Trader Joe's or from another nursery in Las Vegas, but I know for sure I purchased this in Las Vegas well over 2 years ago. And I know at the end of the year plant tour for my patio in December 2018, I think one of you guys mentioned that I think that Mini George was giving its first unfurled split leaf, and here it is. And it's just like a fun plant to have. Lots of new unfurling babies popping through on this plant here. Here's another one here. And I love being able to have Mini George in today's video because I haven't really talked about him on the channel for a minute. If you look here, and I'm gonna try to get this planter up here, lots of aerial roots, and I have never had any problems getting babies from this plant. I think maybe Carrie has a baby from this mother plant, and very fun to see it grow on me. I mean, over the past couple of years, I never imagined this thing would split on me, and here we are today talking about his first split leaf. So I'll keep you posted when Mini George gives us another split leaf. When will that be? Who knows?
Surprise.
It is. It's like the cutest little gift ever. Take a look at that. He's growing up. Here is another large baby that I would like to go ahead and highlight in today's video. I'm going to try to give it its best spin here so you can see the characteristic and just the mass of this plant. It's so huge. Lots of blooms popping through, which is probably one of my favorite characteristics of a spider plant is the blooms and their little babies. So Carrie got a baby, which was the first baby I ever took from this mother plant. So I'm look forward to propagating from this mother plant because I have not yet. So I'll ask Carrie how her plant baby's doing. But take a look at this. Here's the top point of view. It's such a sassy plant. Like lots of new growth. Like take a look at that.
Yeah.
A lot of babies. And my grandma and I will do a propagation video propagating from this mother plant in the future. Such a fun plant to have. I know I did a Meet My Plant episode featuring my other spider plant, and I propagated from it, and I actually took divisions from the mother plant. But this one I think is probably, I don't want to say, but out of all of my spider plants, this one is doing the best.
For sure.
It has never given me problems, and this lives next to my bird's nest fern and my red Congo Philodendron. So it's a nice filler plant for jungle vibes. And stay tuned because my grandma and I will be taking babies from this one. And actually, this particular spider plant, I don't think I've ever really seen much in any retail spaces. So if you come across this spider plant, I highly recommend it. And stay tuned for more propagation videos from my collection. I'll definitely go ahead and try to do that in the near future, maybe next week before I go to the Bay Area. So a little highlight on the status of this beautiful, fun spider plant. So this is going to be my featured hanging baby for Pot of Fame for June. This is my Peperomia scandens variegata. I know a bunch of you like to ask me questions about this plant hanging in the background of my planting videos, and I love seeing this plant in my space. It's living in my plastic planter, which is also linked up in my Amazon store. If you take a look at this plant, there's lots of new growth just like everywhere. It's so cute and fun to look at. For me, this is considered a rare plant. I've never seen this plant in person, and I don't know where I got this plant. Maybe from Pasadena Roseville Flea Market, I'm not sure. Will I propagate from this plant? Maybe in the future. Will I keep it for me? Probably, because this is one of my favorite peperomias in my collection. As you can see, it is a giver, and just the characteristic of it trailing throughout each section of this planter is so cute and stunning. So maybe if a few of you want some cuttings from this one, I might be able to let it go. But this is a rare plant. I've never seen it in person besides this one. I know it does come in all green, which I would like to get eventually for my collection, but I definitely wanted to go ahead and give you guys an up-close point of view on how it's doing and all of the new baby growth popping through. I mean, just the cutest little baby leaves when it puts out. And this gets a lot of humidity, I'm thinking, from my fountain right under it. And I do mist it and water it every week, and it's been living in my patio its entire life. So shout out to my beautiful Peperomia scandens for putting out lots of new growth and giving beautiful trailing vibes to my space. And also just like having it in the background in my planting videos is also really pretty too. So another shout out for another Peperomia. I cannot believe it. I wasn't planning on highlighting so many Peperomias today, but I can't help it. They're doing really good. So as you can see, Peperomias, if you're looking for plants to add in your collection, very easy growers. Alright you guys, I'm gonna end June's pot of fame with one of my prized babies in my collection. This is my Hoya Bella, and my first Hoya in my collection to put out blooms besides my Hoya compacted that was gifted to me with blooms, which no longer exists anymore. So I will keep you posted whenever it gives me blooms in the future. But this is going to be my first Hoya that has popped out blooms on me that I didn't have when I purchased the plant. So as you can see, throughout the whole plant there is cute little blooms, and I love seeing that. So when they first start out, they're very tiny. Like, take a look at that. Isn't that so cute? I mean, when I seen it starting to give me new growth, I was like, no, I can't believe it. There's lots of new growth here, so take a look at that. This plant is so special to me. I can't believe I'm finally having my first Hoya grandma bloom on me. I thought the blooms were gonna open up on us while we were in Las Vegas over the weekend, but it didn't. So I am documenting a Meet My Plant episode featuring my Hoya Bella. I am doing a Meet My Plant episode featuring my Hoya Bella, and I'm documenting the bloom and the growth of the blooms. So stay tuned for that. I did film part 1 last week when I first started seeing the growth of the blooms popping through. So I will continue to film and keep the channel updated on the blooms as it starts to bloom on me. So as you can see, they're everywhere. I know one of my subscribers, I think in Texas, has a few babies from me from this mother plant, rooted babies, as well as Catherine for her birthday. So other than that, I'm keeping this plant. I do have another Hoya Bella that hasn't put out any blooms, but this I love so much, and I definitely don't want to take from it anymore. I think I do have 2 or 3 more rooted cuttings in Leica balls on my plant shelf in my home, just to experiment, and it's actually doing really good. Lots of water roots and living in that Leica ball system. So shout out to my Hoya Bella for giving me lots of new growth, new leaves, and tons of blooms. Shout out to my Hoya Bella for giving me new growth, which is so cute to see, as well as blooms. Stay tuned for an upcoming Meet My Plant episode featuring my Hoya Bella and its beautiful blooms, which I can't wait to celebrate on the channel. And that is going to wrap up June's pot of fame. Grandma, out of all the babies, what was your favorite? Highlighted in today's video.
I guess have to be George Jr.
George Jr. Okay, and I think my favorite update for June is gonna be my Hoya Bella, because To see it not only give me a new growth in leaves and blooms is really fun to see. And I like, honestly guys, like look at how cute that is. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I mean like it's so cute, popping up everywhere. So I hope you guys enjoy seeing my grandma back on the channel. I hope you enjoyed seeing another pot of fame for June, and happy 501 episode on the channel. I can't believe it. What a fun milestone for the channel. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and it means the world to me if you subscribe if you haven't. I do daily videos on the channel at 5 a.m. Grandma's gonna be my special guest for this summer, so she'll be on the channel every week up until the beginning of September. And I look forward to doing more content with my grandma, so stay tuned. We'll be doing another cleaning video this week before we head back to Las Vegas. We are doing 2 Las Vegas weekends back to back, so I'm just home for 3 days to film content and teach. Yesterday I taught 8 classes, so I didn't want to film after coming back from Las Vegas and teaching 8 classes. So today's the day to talk plants. I'll be teaching tonight, but I wanted to go ahead and sit down and talk plants and celebrate 501 episodes on the channel. You can find more on my blog at ILOVEJEWELYN.blogspot.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, aloha from Santa Monica, California. Bye!